Since the beginning of time, the mid-size executive sedan battle has been fought between the Mercedes-Benz C-Class and the BMW 3 Series, with the Audi A4 recently joining the fray. For us, it's the C-Class, though, that offers the best balance of style, tech and a good drive. And although it has just wrestled that crown away from the 3 Series, it now has new competition in the shape of the Jaguar XE. It's taken the company a long enough time to come up with a contender in a segment which it seems they should have already tackled ages ago, given their history of making mid-size cars. And although the category is dominated by the three Germans, the new Jag will be going up against offerings from Volvo, Lexus and Infiniti as well. All of which are very strong contenders, so if this car is going to muscle in on those sales, it has to be very good. And it is very good. Just ask Jaguar. They'll tell you it's the most efficient car they've ever made. It's the most aerodynamic saloon they've ever designed. They've also claimed that it's got the most advanced chassis in its class, and that it redefines the concept of a sports sedan. Which is a very brave statement to make, because BMW and Mercedes-Benz's efforts aren't exactly second-rate. Jaguar are focusing very much on the sportiness of this car, with a lot of their press hype talking about the development of the chassis and the suspension. They've also pegged the more fun-to-drive 4 Series Grand Coupe and A5 Sportback as the XE's main competition. They also say that the styling of this car has something to do with that decision, and much like the others in this class, the look of the XE is quite safe. That's not to say it's bland, it's just not a major departure from what you might expect from Jaguar, which is a good thing, if you like what Jaguar has to offer. There is a definite aggression about this car. The front end with its predatory face and the surprisingly low stance give the XE a definite air of menace. The rear is all a bit horizontal though, with nothing but the signature taillights to make it stand out. The car is quite a beautiful shape though, and there are lots of equally beautiful details that give it a good balance between elegance and sportiness. There's that sportiness again, which they've also infused into the ride setup of this car. They started by giving it a rear-wheel drive layout and then added some performance-oriented bits like a double wishbone front suspension and a torque vectoring system. So if that's the thinking, why on earth did they fit electric power steering? Traditionally, hydraulic power steering is a better option in terms of feel. Electric systems tend to delete involvement and are apparently harder to calibrate to deliver a natural steering action. But electric systems are lighter, which adds to the car's overall efficiency, and Jaguar says the technology has advanced to the point where it's good enough for their XE. And it really is surprisingly good. In fact, I'd go so far as to say it's excellent, with quick responses and accurate sharp turn-in, and it's the most surprising thing about the new Jag. Probably less surprising is how much fun this car is. Jaguar have built some great sports cars in their time, and even though this car has a middle management position, it still delivers a real enjoyment. The front end grip is impressive and it responds to driver inputs by delivering more enjoyment. And we're not even driving the top of the range supercharged V6. Nope, we've got ourselves the 2-litre diesel with 137 kilowatts and 317 Newton meters. It's one of Jaguar's new Ingenium motors, made by the company at their new multi-million-pound engine factory in the UK. They're understandably proud of it, and not just because it's their own creation rather than something borrowed from another manufacturer. True, it's not the most earth-shattering diesel motor we've experienced, but it does deliver good shove and in-gear acceleration. According to Jaguar, it also delivers mind-bending fuel consumption, as low as 4.2 litres per 100 Ks. The gearbox in our Sport R-Spec test car is an 8-speed auto, similar to ones in other Jags like the F-Type. It doesn't have to deal with the same level of torque, but it still manages to deliver a bit of involvement, with upshifts giving a little kick when driving with intent. The interior is more about luxury though, and just like the styling, it is very Jag, with some design ideas borrowed from the XJ and some instrumentation borrowed from the F-Type. Other things like the steering wheel and the rotary gear selector will also be familiar, but the new touchscreen setup and the very pared down layout is all new. It's a clean, simple design that packs a decent amount of spec into a very easy-to-operate setup. Adaptive cruise control, a head-up display and high-end sound are some of our test cars' highlights, but every XE gets the same comfortable setup with good space all round. Even in the back, where you might expect the coupe-inspired roofline to encroach on room reserved for heads. Jaguar says a lot of the thinking behind their new car involved a clean sheet of paper, and that allowed them to develop the engine and the interior and the chassis to deliver the best drive in its class. It still doesn't quite top the Mercedes-Benz C-Class as a package, but the Jaguar XE is good enough to make every other competitor in the segment wonder about their position in the pecking order. Jaguar's own 2-litre diesel Ingenium motor delivers a good drive, with in-gear acceleration being particularly strong. The 8-speed ZF automatic gearbox is as good as ever. The XE is pure Jaguar, with the style both inside and out for which the brand is well known. It is an enjoyable drive and should have others in the category concerned for their sales, even if it is the most expensive option.